Hi, my name is Candace Hayworth and I am the health coordinator at Buena Vida on Palm. I am here today to do a food demo for you. We're going to do healthy strawberry French toast. French toast is one of our favorite traditional recipes. We like to lather it up with butter, pour a bunch of syrup on it, use whole milk to put our bread in when we're making it, and we like to fry it up in the pan with a ton of oil. Today we're going to do some of the similar things to make the French toast, but we're going to make some adjustments, some swaps to make it a little bit healthier and still taste amazing. So I have my recipe card with me today. I like to write my recipe down so I have it in front of me when I cook. With this recipe card, I did not adapt this recipe myself. So this recipe is from a sweet pea chef, and it says the prep time is about 10 minutes. Our cook time is 15 minutes. Our servings is going to be 4 to 6 servings. And it's 252 calories for one serving. It's 8.2 grams of fat. It has 10 grams of protein, which is it's a good amount of protein, and 35 grams of carbs. And that's not a whole lot of carbs. That's perfect for a breakfast in the morning. Whenever you're reading like a recipe card like this, you always want to read a recipe the same way you would read a book, from top to bottom and from left to right. So we went over our prep time, our cook time, our serving size. Now it's time to read our ingredients. We have 4 eggs, which I have here today, 4 eggs. This recipe called for almond milk, but I actually am switching it out for skim milk, which I have right over here. We also have about a half teaspoon of vanilla extract, which is right here. Just a small amount. You never use that much anyway. And about 1/4 teaspoons of cinnamon, 6 to 8 slices of bread, whole grain bread. So I have Dave's bread. It's got 21 whole grains and seeds. It says it's organic bread. When you're shopping for bread at the grocery store, you want to buy whole grain bread, and some people don't know if their bread is whole grain or not. So here's a tip. When you go shopping at the grocery store, you have to turn it over to read the nutrition label. It'll tell you if it's whole grain bread with the very first ingredient on the label. This says organic whole wheat bread. So that's how we know. If it says enriched bleached flour, that's going to be processed, and those have the nutrients put back into the product. Whereas this one's just more natural, more whole grain, more nutrients already intact. So that's what we have for our bread, and we've got 1 cup of syrup. You can do sugar-free syrup. I don't think a little sugar is going to kill you. Part of being healthy is making sure that, we can treat ourselves once in a while. That's totally fine. We want to feel like we have a good quality of life. We also have some strawberries and some lemon juice to keep those strawberries good while we're cooking the French toast. So first, we have all of our strawberries here. I'm going to take these strawberries out, and I'm going to show you how I clean them and rinse them off underneath the sink. So here is the strainer. This is the strainer that I use. It might look a little bit different than the one that you have at home, but I'm going to put that one in the sink, and I'm going to pick out some of the biggest, plumpiest, and juiciest strawberries. I like the way that one looks. That's 2, 3, I don't know. Some of these don't look so good. Like this one you can tell is a little older, so we're not going to include that one there. And this one looks good. So I have about 5 strawberries that I'm gonna wash. Come on over here. Get in here. And I'm gonna turn the water on. I'm actually getting in there too. So with these leaves, I'm just gonna pluck those off and make sure that I'm rubbing it with my hands. The strawberries have very delicate skins, and you don't wanna rub too hard and break the skins. Just plucking off the leaves there too. With some fruits that have firmer skins, like an orange or a lemon, you can rub it more aggressively with your fingers, or you can use like a vegetable tool that helps you get all the dirt off. Okay, so I've actually got this already washed. They look beautiful and clean now. Oop, All right, I think we just lost it. There we go. And I'm gonna get my cutting board, and we're gonna find a place for it. How about right over here? Alrighty. And now I want to cut these so they look beautiful. Can you see that okay? So this is how you cut a strawberry to make it look nice and fancy. Can you see? Yeah, get on top there. You cut it on the end in thin slices. The thinner the slice, the prettier it will look. Alright, so now that I have all my slices in, I'm going to fan it out and look how pretty that looks, just like that. So I'm going to let that sit. If you don't plan on eating it for a while, you should put lemon juice on there, because the lemon juice will help the fruit from breaking down and turning that weird brown color. And if you put the lemon juice on there, that's going to help it. Oh, this is really hard. Okay, there we go. That's why we need men, so they can open up our cans and our containers for us. So I'm just pouring a little bit of that lemon juice in there to keep the strawberry good while I continue to make the French toast. I'm going to make a couple more cuts on this guy. He's a little bit thicker. It doesn't have to look perfect, because once you fan it out, it just does all the work on its own. Yeah, look at that. You can spread it out. These don't break apart that easy. You should have a good time with those. Pretty easy time getting them. Okay, I'm going to do this one more time, just to show you how to do it. Has anyone ever done this at home, or how do you like to decorate your plate? Do you even think about decorating your plate, or are you more concerned about eating it? Okay. This recipe originally uses the strawberries to mix in with the syrup, and they blend it in with the syrup to make it like this strawberry syrup. It sounds like it tastes great, but I kind of like more traditional syrup, something more plain. Sounds good to me. All right, now I'm going to sprinkle all this lemon juice on top to keep the fruit from breaking down. All right, we'll set this aside for now. I'm going to put this in the fridge. All right. Okay, what does my recipe card tell me to do next? So looking back at the recipe card, it says in a large mixing bowl, we'll add some eggs, milk, vanilla extract, and cinnamon. So I have my large mixing bowl right here, and we're going to start with our eggs. Ready? There are some people that can crack eggs one-handed, and that is pretty amazing to me. I feel like I'm pretty good at cracking eggs without getting the shells in there, though. Okay. You guys, there's no shells in there. That's great. Occasionally, you might get a blood egg. That's very rare, though. All right. Did you know if you want to see if the eggs are still good, if they've been sitting in your fridge for a while, you just put it in a bucket of water and you see if the egg floats. If it floats, it's good. If it sinks, it's bad. All right, so what do we have next? We've got the eggs, and now we need the milk. So we need a half cup of milk that I'm going to add to this mixture. Okay. These cups are usually more for dry ingredients, but I'm going to use this one today for my wet ingredients, my milk. All right, so there's our milk. Now we need our vanilla extract. And for our vanilla extract, it says that we need a half teaspoon. So here it is. And using our measuring spoons, you don't want to use your real spoons. You want to use these. So we're using the half teaspoons. That's this one. The 4th teaspoon, that's our smallest one. Okay. This is a new product. My hands are wet. Would you mind getting that one for me, cameraman? Go ahead. So we have the eggs and the milk so far, and now we're about to add in the vanilla extract. Ooh, just a little bit extra is okay. And then we're going to do a 4th teaspoon of cinnamon. So the 4th teaspoon isn't that much, but you can add more cinnamon if you like it really strong at home. So this would be a heaping teaspoon. I like to go like this or rub a flat edge on it to get a more accurate measurement. Okay. And you notice that normally we might put in some sugar or some salt, but we're not using any added sugar, and we're not going to put in any added salt either. And now we're going to take the whisk and whisk everything up. So they say that the way to mix these eggs together is to, when you're whixing it, you want to do it in like a sideways motion. Don't just like mix it like this. You want to mix it like pick it up and put it down. So like you're going like this. If you have someone who's really strong, have that person whisk for you. All right, so there's that. There's our milk, our vanilla extract, our cinnamon, and our eggs. Next, our recipe card tells us to heat our griddle over medium heat with 1/2 teaspoon of olive oil. So here is our griddle. The difference between sauteing and deep frying, and that's medium heat, is that deep frying would be pouring in a bunch of oil and allowing that oil to completely submerge whatever food that you are cooking it in. Sauteing is when you just use a little bit of oil. Like olive oil is a healthy oil, and that's good for you. That's good, actually, like a fat you want to try to incorporate more in your diet versus like lard or butter. Those have more of those saturated fats, and that can give you clogged arteries, which lead to heart disease and stroke and a bunch of horrible other diseases. Using fats like that are typically used in deep frying. So this is a olive oil. This is better for us. I'm gonna let that heat up. Usually, like if the oil is seeping down like this, if it's falling really slow, then that means it hasn't had a chance to heat up. The oil, when it heats up, acts more like a water, and it spreads all over the pan much easier. So we're done with our whisk here. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in our sink. Is it gonna get put in our sink? Always wash your hands before you start. I washed mine, maybe you didn't see it, but they're very clean. And we're done with our vanilla extract and our cinnamon. You can do the cleanup as you work. You can clean up as you're cooking. It helps make the cleanup process a lot easier when you're done. So that way all you have to do is fix up your dishes. So I'm gonna keep my bowl of my ingredients, my little mixture here. I'm gonna keep that really close to my griddle. So that way when I dip the French toast in, all I have to worry about is getting it's like a short distance away from my pan and it won't drip. Alrighty, and our bread. And since we're done with our strawberries, these are gonna go in the fridge. Alright, and our powdered sugar, I'm saving that for the end. We're done with our lemon juice. Our griddle is heating up right now as I'm cleaning up a bit. And our recipe card, we're gonna put that right next to our griddle here so that way I can see everything while I'm cooking. Alright, so now it's time to get the whole grain bread out and dip it into our mixture. Even though there's no added sugar or anything, this is gonna be a really tasty recipe. It's gonna taste really clean, really wholesome. Alright, and a plate for our bread. And I have my tongs here. Metal tongs like this, they might rip through that bread, so you want to be careful. Maybe if you have some plastic tongs, then that's alright. So we'll start with this. When you put the bread in, you want to make sure that it's fully submerged. So as you can see, this bread is, I'm just flipping it over, and I feel like it's all covered now. Just gonna make sure the excess drips off, and now I'm gonna put it in here. Maybe even turn up the heat a little bit. Each side is gonna need about 2 to 3 minutes. So as we wait here, I'm gonna get out another plate to put our finished product. And now we wait. Can you hear that sizzling? That's the best part. Well, while that one's cooking, I'm gonna get the next piece of bread started. So we put that down there. I don't want to get the egg all on my hands. Just kind of let it soak, flip them back and forth. You can see the air bubbles coming out of the bread. Okay. All right, while that sits there, I'm gonna add the other piece of bread too. Yeah, our mixture is getting smaller and smaller. You don't even have to use the griddle. You can also bake French toast too. Okay. Don't let it soak for too long, otherwise the bread will fall apart when you take it out. You won't be able to transfer it into the griddle. And they're getting kind of stuck. And with the excess, well, maybe you can just make regular old scrambled eggs with it. Okay. Now we're gonna check on this and see how it's doing. It's pretty light brown. I feel like that heat isn't high enough. I heard that when you cover things, it helps lock in the flavors more. This side looks a little more brown. And it smells really good. It smells like brown sugar and cinnamon. Even though we didn't put any sugar in there at all, it smells like really good. Ooh, that's a good sound. We like that sound. So now that it is done, now that I have one, I really want to show you how we finish it off. Oh, ow. Alrighty, so the strawberries that we put in the fridge earlier, take some of the ones that came out the best, and we just place it on top, like that. And now, you take some of your powdered sugar, and if you don't have a sifter, the sifter's like got really tiny holes, and it can nicely like and evenly cover it with powdered sugar. If you don't have one of those, do not fear. You can use a spoon. So you'll just want to stick the spoon in. You'll grab a little bit. Okay. Not a whole bunch, but just a little bit. And you can move it very gently back and forth and allow some of it to drop. You'll also want to hold it up higher. There you go. A little powdered sugar won't kill you. It just adds a really nice look and taste. I think I went a little crazy there. All right, and the last but not least is going to be your syrup. Yeah, you have to have a really steady shake. And just drizzle it really nicely over the plate. You can serve it with bacon or sausage. And I think that looks really good. I think that is gorgeous. Healthy French toast, guys. Thank you guys for coming and watching my video on healthy French toast. I think next month we're going to do something on pumpkin seeds. So let me know what you guys think. Bye. Have a good day.